So in this last part of the interaction video, we're going to look at creating a more flexible system and useful system of working with interaction. So what we have currently is this door, and we know we can go in and we can press E, we can open that door. And for this, we can press E, close that door, we can interact with that, okay. But it's limited to that door. So let's just look at the script for this. Let's just go into this blueprint class for this door itself. And actually, let's go into the third person script as well. So if we just got this one door, or this one type of door, this is absolutely fine. We press the E key, sends out the trace. It finds and casts to the door itself, the door actor, and then it calls the custom event, the interactive event. But if we've got different kind of objects that we want to interact with, so say we've got a door that slides open, or we've got a garage door that rises open, or we have a drawer that we want to open. All of those things we might want to go in and press E to interact with them. But to do that with this kind of approach is problematic, and you have to work around it a lot more than the system going to use. So instead of this, which is limiting, we're going to use a solution that is a lot more flexible, and that's using things called blueprint interfaces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the script again. So I'm going to get my door, I'm going to right click, I'm going to duplicate. I would suggest you give these better names. I'm just doing this for the sake of the tutorial. Let's open this up. And then we've got our third person that we're going to deal with. And then let's go into here. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create a blueprint interface. To do that, really easy. I'm in my interaction folder right now. I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to blueprints and choose a blueprint interface. I'm going to call this BI just for blueprint interface as a prefix. I'm going to call it interact with, something like that. Or interact. There we go. Okay. If I double click on this, all we need to do is just go in here, and I'm just going to rename this, and let's call this interact with. I'm going to compile and save that. That's going to create essentially a function. And then I'll just leave that open for now, but that's essentially that's all we need to do there. Just make sure you do compile and save. So now I'm going to go back to my blueprint actor, my blueprint class, and we need to add this blueprint interface into it so it knows that it can work with this. So to do that, we go to class settings, and then over here we have this interfaces, and we just simply add. So I click on the list and go down, and we've got this BI interact, which is the blueprint interface that we made. Click on that, click on compile and save. What that does is it brings that interface into here. So now we can start using this. So the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this custom event. I'm going to right click, and then I'm going to start looking for, in fact, it should be under events actually. So under this events, got this event interact with. Let's click on that. And that gives us this custom event. And we know it's an interface event because of this icon up here. So from this now, I'm going to drag that in. That's our new custom event based on this interface. So that's that done. Let's now look at the third person. So in here, essentially the script is exactly the same at this point. We're still doing press E, we're still doing the line trace, we're still doing the break it result. The change now comes here. So I'm going to get rid of these. This is a bit that's limiting because right now it's only casting to this one object and casting directly within to call it custom function. I want to be able to cast to anything. So let's get rid of that. I'm going to drag out from the hit actor again, and we're going to use a node, and it says does implement interface. So basically this is just saying that we're using a blueprint interface on that. Okay. With this, I can go in and I can choose the blueprint interface that this is working with. So I can select my class, and I'm going to find my BI interact, the one that we made. Done. So with that now, we can come off, we can return a value. And basically what we want to say, if this is true, so if it does implement into an interface, then it's going to do something from that. So let's drag off there. Let's say branch. And let's just be plugging this in. So let's plug this into here. So we're coming out of our line by trace, breaking that, finding the hit, saying, does that implement a blueprint interface? If it does, then I can just come out of this. And I can simply start typing in the name of the interaction. So what we have is this BI interface, and we've got this BI interact with message. So we need to make sure we've got this one. Okay, so this is our BI and interact. Again, just check all your names. This is another one from before. So this is one I did just to kind of just check through everything beforehand. So this is the one that we're currently working with. So BI interface, interact with, click on that. And it should have this icon with this little envelope on there to show that this is sending a message through. So this is sending a message through to our script here, and then it's looking for this event interact with, and then it's triggering this off. Okay. So let's compile this. We're going to get the same error that we've had before. This needs a target on here. So what I can do is just drag out from this hit actor. So this is the one that we're currently hitting. Drag out from that, plug that into this target, and then compile and save. Okay. So I have that. So let's go in and let's try this now. So let's just drag this door on. Just rotate this. And there we go. It's working. Brilliant. You'll see that this one no longer works because we've taken off that functionality, but this one is working. So let's just press escape. So we could get rid of this one now. And this one is now our replacement. Okay. So what I've just quickly done is I've just made another little bit of interaction. So I've made this sphere. So basically I've just made another blueprint actor, just brought a sphere into this. I've had a bit of script just to have this lift in the air, that's all. So I've got another animation timeline, just got another value, same as we did with the door. Only this time I've done a set relative location, and I've got this raise amount, I've got this going into the air. So just on the Z axis, just by, I think it lifts up to 300. I've just put this in an event begin play just for a second, just to show you what this does. So essentially, when we press play, when we start playing, it just raises up into the air. Really, really simple. Okay. Obviously, that's not something we want to do. We want to interact with this ourselves. So let's go in. Let's just delete. Oops. Let me just press escape and stop playing. Press escape on that. And let's just show how we can interact with this now. So all we need to do the same we did before. Go to class settings, add in, and go in and add our blueprint interface interact, our BI interact. So we've got that, just compile and save it. Make sure we've got this interact with. We right click, we go into our events, and we have this event interact with. And then we can just click on this, and then compile and save. And what this should do is now when I go in, I should go on that, I should be able to click on that and interact with it. So we can make a number of different objects do completely different things, but based on exactly that same interaction by using the blueprint interface. So really, really effective. You can do a lot more with the interaction in that way. So hopefully that's been useful, and hopefully you can go on and kind of create other versions of that. So that is our blueprint interaction. So remember, the main thing is we need a blueprint interface. So we right click blueprints, create a blueprint interface. We would give that a name. We would go in and give this a name, whatever that needs to be. And then in our actual blueprint class, we would add in the interface. And you can add in more than one interface as well. You can have them triggering off different things. We would add in our interface. And once we've got that, we just plug it in and have it doing what it needs to do. From our third person character, or where it actually the actual interaction is, all we're doing is we're just calling the particular interaction message. So in this case, this interact with. And you can use that over and over again. So what I could do with this now is just get this, press C to comment this out. Could go in and say eKey interaction. And we only need to create that one version of it. We don't need to do any other version of that at all. We just need to make sure we add in that blueprint interface. So that is our interface with this. So let's just look one more time. Got interaction we can do there. We've got our interaction that we can do there. We have our door opening with a trigger box. And then we have our, Then we have our one that we've got our interactive state switched off, and we can just open and close the door as we want it, just as a set prop within the scene.